Congratulations, Data. It's a go.
Hello and good evening. Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 3, Episode 60. And what?
Wait, maybe it's me. Sorry, never mind.
Well, let's try it again. Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 3, Episode 16, The Offspring, first aired back in 1990, but here in 2026 on Live Long on Podcast, we're just getting started. Whether you're joining us live on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, or catching the audio version, wherever you get your podcasts, our mission to rewatch every episode of TNG continues. One android, one child, and one Starfleet overreach at a time. Now, here's the guy who's pretty fly for a white guy. I'm your host, Dave Mader, and we're here to break down The Offspring with a great panel. Coming in first, he's tracking the ethical and political fallout of Starfleet's barging into Data's lab like they own the place, analyzing every power play Admiral Halftail makes and every boundary Picard pushes back on. It's Adam Woodward.
Hey, Dave. You know, I was wondering, why do they make admirals just so bad?
Like, well, this one kind of gets a little nice at the end.
At the end, but
yeah,
you know, every admiral has a problem with something.
Yeah. They're trying to tell us something about promotions, I think, or taking desk jobs.
The admiral in Wolf 359, he seems pretty good, but he doesn't last for.
Yeah, Admiral
Harriman or no.
Admiral Hayes or something like that. Yeah, I should know that. But anyway, we'll talk more about that. Coming back in here, Chief Engineer and Trivial Debates showrunner. He's analyzing the lab setup, the positronic upgrades, and whether Starfleet's research protocols are just a fancy way of saying, we want your kid. It's Chris Worldmind Murphy.
Well, thank you for having me. Apologies for the reset. My audio neurons had died and crashed, and I had to basically try and reboot the system. Either way, we're here now to talk about The Offspring.
Yes, well, welcome, Chris, and I'm glad, you got your technical issues worked out. You're like, you're muted! I'm like, am I? No. Turns out, no.
Before you get to your next introduction, Admiral Hansen.
Admiral Hansen, that's it. JP! Oh, you want to keep your look on your eye on this one, JP. And of course, she locked onto the emotional core of this episode. Lol's first steps, first questions, and first feelings. Stylish, sharp, and tuned into the heart of the story and dressed for the occasion. It's Heather Narduzzi.
Oh, you're muted.
No, she's muted.
That was a good gag too. I'll try it again when it comes around in the episode.
Hello, I got what you were going for.
You got it right. Hello, Lillian. Thanks for joining us. Hi, everybody in the chat. This is one of my all-time favorite episodes, and I'm so excited to get into it.
Me too. I love this one as well. If you don't cry for this episode, you have no soul, I say. This is the 64th episode of Star Trek The Next Generation we're talking about that aired on March 12th, 1990, written by the great Rene Echevarria and directed by the also great Jonathan Frakes, his directorial debut, actually, the first episode he directed of Next Generation, but not his last. And yeah, well, Heather already kind of said it's one of her all-time favorites. Adam, is this a good episode?
Oh, yeah. This is one of my all-time favorites. I was happy to be here tonight because of it.
Yes. And Chris, would you say you are a positive on this episode or negative?
I am neither positive or negative on this episode. I am, honestly, it's a good episode. I do enjoy it. There's a lot of really good messages throughout the entire episode. I think I'm just trying to play into the bit of being
An android, yes.
an
I was
android,
like,
yeah.
you are. I was like, can use contractions though.
Yeah, no. That being said, yeah, I am a big fan of this episode. It's one of the better episodes of season 3, and generally in Star Trek TNG as a whole. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's one of the great, Picard, fighting for android rights. It's not quite Measure of a Man, but it's pretty close in in many respects. Maybe more so depending on how you want to look at it. Like there's so much to say about this episode, but I think in particular, it's this whole idea of like you're trying to wrap your head around the idea of artificial life, computers having offspring, having parental rights. Similar to some of the questions being asked in Measure of a Man and some of the other episodes leading up to this about the whole, machines and their place in the Federation and everything else, right? So, a lot to talk about. Hello, Norman. Welcome. Joining us once again here in 2026, our first podcast of the new year, but at least in Next Gen land. This episode all about Data secretly creating his android daughter, or at first just child, Lal, which means beloved in Hindi. Fun fact, David also means beloved in probably Hebrew. Yeah, so we're kind of the same in a lot of ways. Data attempts to raise her aboard the Enterprise, but Lal rapidly develops language, identity, and emotional awareness in Starfleet research. A branch of Starfleet not really mentioned too often other than in this episode, insisting that she has to be removed from Data's care and studied elsewhere. And Picard has to push back, defending Data's rights as a parent. And then, the episode builds on a very emotional ending here. So, we've been talking about how great season 3 has been, a real step up from the earlier seasons.
Even the beginning of season 3, it just like turned.
Yeah. I think yesterday's Enterprise probably being like one of the great episodes we talked about most recently, and this is the episode that follows up that episode. And this is different but very, very compelling. So I think that there's a lot of emotion in this. I think it's a simple enough story. It was. I don't know. Like, I kind of wonder, like, with Frakes, this being the first episode he directed, if they specifically gave him this one because they wrote that he wouldn't be in it very much.
That occurred to me too when I was watching last night, that his name came up and wondering if it was the first episode he directed. And then it said, "Oh, Riker's on leave." And I said, "Oh, I bet that's why." But then, of course, I remembered he had to come back in halfway through the episode so Data could do "What are your intentions with my daughter?"
Right, daughter.
We need at least so fun.
That's a fun.
But definitely, I would, and hopefully this will come up in fun facts. But I imagine that they only had him in half the episode so he could focus more on directing.
I'd imagine.
I do have a fun fact around this, so yeah, we'll
Great.
save it.
Well, I know when we had the interview last year with Tim Russ, he said when he got to direct one episode of Voyager, and he definitely did not get to pick. It just happened that he's not in that episode very much, the Living Witness episode of Voyager, but if he might have got one that he was in a lot, and that probably would have drove him crazy. So
I imagine Frakes now has his pick, but probably not for the first one he ever got to direct.
No, that's probably true. And as the show went on, like, I don't know how many, it might be worth looking up how many more episodes of TNG he directed after this. At least a few more. And then
he directed the most out of the whole cast. I think I know Stewart and Burton directed. I'm not sure if Spiner did, and I don't know if Dorn did either. And I know neither of the women in the main cast directed.
I know that Michael Dorn did on Enterprise. I can't, and maybe on Deep Space, but not on, I don't think on TNG. I don't think Spiner ever directed. I think you're right. And I don't think Marina Sirtis or Gates McFadden directed an episode either. But of course, I think with Frakes, he went of all the directors, like of the cast directors, you could put him up maybe at the top of the pyramid, like the Mount Rushmore of those people who went on to have directorial success. He went on to direct 2 Star Trek films, but beyond that, many other shows and movies and things like that as well. well.
So he listen. I mean, we might as well just talk about this now because he directed in the Star Trek world.
Did she?
I was gonna say, didn't Gates direct Genesis?
That's wonderful. I didn't know that. Great episode.
Is Genesis the one where they all turn into like?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know she directed that one, but that's fine.
Love it.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Adam?
He directed 31 Star Trek episodes total, but 14 Next Gen episodes.
Well, that's a
Okay.
good amount. Yeah. Well, and they talked about how he really had to earn his like dues and like he had to like really shadow all these people for years leading up to it.
Do you remember on the Star Trek cruise, Dave? Tell me the actress that played Blana Torres.
Or Roxanne Dawson.
Roxanne Dawson.
Yeah, she did a talk and she was talking about how the transition from actor to director was very difficult, but she wanted to do it but you know, for her, she said, you know, long days to begin with. Now you're on the whole day directing everybody in the scenes and making sure that everything's right. It was a difficult transition, she said, but she became pretty successful too in the Star Trek world.
Yeah. And also on the writing side, like this I think this is the first episode Renee Echevarria writes for Star Trek.
It is actually. And the other part, you know, we talked about Riker 31 episodes, but 14 were Next Gen and 15 were Discovery.
Yeah. He did a lot of disco episodes. That's great.
So he didn't really direct much of Deep Space Nine or Voyager then, right?
No, I mean, there's only 2 left. So yeah, I'll go find out what they were.
Interesting. Okay. Well, like a lot of like first timers here, but this all came together. Now the guest star who plays Lal.
Sorry, the other two were First Contact and Insurrection.
Yes.
The other two. So he never directed any Deep Space Nine or Voyager then.
No.
He did appear on both shows though.
Yes.
And Enterprise, yeah.
True.
Now, were you going to say Hallie Todd, the actor who plays Lal, was on Golden Girls and she played Blanche's niece? Because I was going to say that.
I was just getting to that. She was apparently also Joe McGuire on Lizzie McGuire for some of our younger listeners. She was also on Murder, She Wrote, apparently, and Highway to Heaven, amongst a few other things. But so I'm not super familiar with her, but she seemed to have
obviously know her from Golden Girls, which is one of my all-time favorites. And she played Blanche's niece, who was also the same kind of lady as Blanche. So she came for a visit and she went on all kinds of dates and was tramping around and having a great time.
Yes, but there's actually
a lady after my own heart. Get it, girl.
There's actually 2 actors who play Lal in this episode because before Lal chooses her appearance, there's another, like it's a man, Leonard Crowfoot, playing like the mannequin version, if you will.
Which does mannequin?
I'm sorry, you cut out there, Heather.
You're cutting out.
But can you say that again?
Hello, am I frozen?
Are you back?
I'm here. I'm back. Can you see me?
Okay. Yeah, you just cut out there as you were talking about the mannequin version.
Right. So did anybody find the mannequin reminded me of Astar from the safety commercials when we were little? Remember, I could put my arm back on, but you can't to play safe.
I was wondering, I was like, that's Astar. I can put my arm back on.
Oh, like not the crash.
Can't.
I remember that. Like from the War Amps or something. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Was it War Amps?
It was totally a War Amps commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or I also think about those crash test dummy commercials for some reason too, even though it's a different look. So anyway, we can jump into it here and run through everything in the episode. It's a pretty simple plot in a lot of ways, but the best ones always are. So we start off here with the Enterprise at warp. We're told in the captain's log that Riker is on personal leave. What he's doing is never explained to us. It doesn't matter. He's directing the episode is the real answer. And we get a walk and talk here. We get Wesley Crusher and Geordi LaForge heading to the lab. With the dialogue talking about how Data's been spending every spare minute since he came back from a cybernetics conference in the lab. Counselor Troy then meets them like mid walk here and joins them. And talking all about it. What could Data be up to in there? It must be something big. And apparently Wesley Crusher has been snooping around the lab, trying to get in because it's apparently been locked. And they say, "How could you know that, Wesley?" But he, then he kind of smiles and grins and everything else. So just mentally note that about Wesley Crusher.
He's peeping.
He's peeping. What's Data up to? He tries to go in. Oh, it's locked. Drat. I'll find out one day. But as we see Data here in the lab, he's got a cybernetic foot in his hands. And
Very Quentin Tarantino-esque shot.
Yes. This is pre-Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs, for that matter. But anyway, so Troy, Wesley, and Geordi show up, and he's like, "You're early. Get the hell out of here!" Shuts the door on their face, and only adding more to this unusual behavior that Data is exhibiting here, and the anticipation builds as we see Data now attaching this foot to the body of the android. That we'll come to know as Law here. And, I thought this all looked pretty cool for 1990 special effects, coming out. You see, like this little touch with the foot moving once it's reattached here on the android as it goes up to this upper level. And, Data welcomes in Wesley, Geordi, and Deanna, explaining that, he's trying to continue the work of his creator, Noonien Soong. And he unveils to his friends, "Look, I have made an android with very heterogeneous, like Ken doll, if you will, at this stage in the design." Anyway, and then the android speaks to Wesley and Deanna and Geordi, and the shock here kicks in as they're like, "Oh no, he's made a brand new life form, a brand new life." He's like, "Talk to them. Say hello, Law." Law says hello, which there's just a couple of looks here exchanged between Deanna and Geordi, and there's even Wesley saying, when Law says father to Data, and Wesley goes, "Father, he's a father. What's happening?" And that is kind of this incredible, like, sort of amazing cold open we get for this episode. Data has created a new life, and what will this mean now?
I really love this cold open because it gives the real sense that these people are friends and chosen family. When Troy and Geordi and Wesley are walking down the hall together, and the way that they're chit-chatting and bantering and teasing Wesley about peeping at the door and everything, that feels very real and authentic to me. Like, these people are family. And
Right.
Then Data is introducing them to his child. It's perfect. Like, the tone is excellent.
I think it's like the other thing that kind of strikes me is that Worf's not in this episode at all. He's in one voiceover, and there's a part where he's calling down to Picard, but like Worf wasn't invited to this party. Guinan wasn't, like it was explicitly these three people, or Dr. Crusher even, right? So who Data considers closest to him, I think, is kind of interesting. Although he will go to talk to Dr. Crusher later in the episode. Norman just correcting us here that Frakes did direct 2 Voyager episodes. Prototype and Partition maybe. And yes, so thank you. Norman always has the facts.
Well, maybe those are the 2 TV episodes that fill that gap, because they didn't call it movie specifically. So good.
So maybe the 2. So it's not the 2 movies that make up these 2.
Thanks, Norman.
Thanks, Norman. All right, so the Offspring is our title card coming off the credits, and I think we get another voiceover here from Picard. There's an extraordinary new life here, as Data is now explaining this to Captain Picard. You just like even the looks that like Troy is giving to Picard here.
This was really good. It was really good here because you can see Picard gets it right away. There's a big problem here.
Oh yeah, he's not like he knows the implications of this. He knows how Starfleet.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
he knows how Starfleet's going to react, and the Federation, and this is not necessarily going to be like no biggie, So, and I think that this speaks to Frakes directing here, along with him working with the actors, and he does a lot here with like just the looks and the body language of with not even just the dialogue here. So yeah, Picard is just like, I would have liked to have been consulted, and Data doesn't really understand this because he's like, well, no other parent has to consult with you when they're having children, which is true.
Like fair, true.
It's fair. But Data is a little different. He's one of a kind, and so there's kind of but it kind of ties into Data's like sort of innocent, naive sense, like that he doesn't really think about those things. He doesn't really conjure up what other people's motivations are going to be necessarily all the time, or how they're going to react to things. So Picard's just like, oh my God, I was having such a nice day, and this is definitely gonna be a thing. So he knows he has to call up Starfleet and tell them. But Data makes some fair points here, and Picard is mostly upset. That this is not that he's against law or anything like that. It's more just, oh my God, what's going on? Anyway, so then we have
Frankenstein, a robot character, and not go through Federation protocol first. You gotta.
I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what they would have done if he had told them exactly, but tell them not to do it, or anyway. So then we have Picard and Troy walking down, and Picard's like, we have to discourage calling this a child, and him and Dad, this is a new life form, an extraordinary accomplishment. But Troy's like, well, why shouldn't it be considered a child? And like, why can't you like wrap your head around that? And Picard's like, okay, fine, but I don't. It's kind of different, like
this conversation is also very interesting because you don't typically see Picard having a very direct, specific conversation in a hallway where other crew members are walking by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the placement is interesting. Like, this seems like more of a ready room conversation.
It does, and it also feels like the other thing I do like about this episode this scene particularly is Deanna's interaction with him. She's not afraid at all, to give the counterpoint, and that's her job, but she does it well.
And he listens to her, and she manages kind of even to change Picard's initial thinking around in one conversation, largely. Like, he's like, well, if he must call it, it's like, who am I going to argue with that? But he's like, this android also has the strength of 10 men and can do 60 trillion calculations per second. So like, I think that there's just a bit of like that sort of like we know, like with Lore, for instance, Lore was a mean android, and like, if so whether androids going good or bad is not necessarily set in stone either, and maybe keeping your eye on this is worthwhile. But anyway, so then afterwards we have the conversation directly with Picard and Data in the ready room, and Picard is just like, I am legitimately dismayed that you did not tell anyone what you were up to, that you were doing this. And he's like, well, no one else has to tell you, like, when they're having kids. And he was like, Data, I'm not talking about being a parent. I am talking about the incredible responsibility of bringing a life into this world. And he's like, well, isn't that being a parent? Shut up, Data. You're pissing me off.
He acquiesces so much. Every time he tries to make an objection, everyone's like, well, actually, here's a logical reason. He's like, shit, you're right.
He's like, shit, no, yeah, you're right. You're catching me in my own logic all the time, right? Picard, it's a good place for him in this episode. It's interesting how he's like, by the end he's like the hero here, but he's just like,
but again, he knows what's coming.
Right? So I think there's also a level of protection here. He's like, but he doesn't really explain any of that to Data. But he's like, Starfleet will want to know the progress, no doubt, so it's just kind of a real interesting reaction here. Yeah, this part here where Picard puts his hands into his head here, or into his head. The double face palm, and then Data just right. And Data just going, what's wrong with him? What's
but this is funny too, this scene, because he looked under. He's
like, is he okay? Is he okay? So anyway,
I like to go back. I like how in these scenes they always have Data's face reflected in the window. I like the framing of that shot. Good job, Frakes.
Great directing. Anyway, so then we have the scene where well, it's first in the hallway here where it's Data and Troy walking with Lal, and Lal's like pointing at women saying gender female, and like also with Troy like me, gender male. You know, like, so very good. You are picking up on the male female thing, and then Law's like, I choose to have Troy's gender and appearance. So they're like,
I mean, haven't we all wished to have her gender and appearance? I certainly have.
Well, sure.
Or Gina.
But Dan's like, no, that would be confusing. We can't allow that. So
that's the only reason it would be confusing.
Yeah, it would just be confusing. So anyway, so they're saying data. So Lal is going to be able to choose their own gender and appearance. Very progressive for 1990.
Yes.
You know, and there are 3,000 options to look at, and Troy's like, "What? I'm going to look at 3,000 options? Oh no!" So
okay, here's the first flaw of this episode. So she goes into the holodeck, and go ahead, let's go.
Yeah, well, yeah. So they head into the holodeck, and there's a time jump here, but yes, I think I know what you're going to say because Troy.
Why don't they give her a chair?
You can create a holographic chair or couch or bed for that matter.
Anything.
You know, whatever you want.
In the corner of the holodeck. Oh my god.
Yeah. Where's the neck support? Anything, you know. But so how much time has gone by later that Troy is asleep? And the final four have been selected here.
That literally never occurred to me before. Like, why couldn't they have just replicated her a chair? I've watched this episode 100 times for real.
Yeah.
I'll sleep on the floor. Like, anyway.
Yeah. At least get her a neck pillow. Anyway, so we're down to the final four, and we get to see the options here. So the first option is an Andorian female. Now this look on the Andorians, like, this is the first time we're seeing an Andorian since original series. Or maybe, maybe
why is it green?
Exactly, it's all wrong.
Yeah, the Andorian's green, doesn't look very, like, the antennas look all wrong.
I have a solid guess as to why this looks green, is because generally the Andorians have like a blue look to them, right?
Yeah.
And since it's been recently discovered that the background of the holodeck was never a practical set, this is all green screen.
Not all of it.
Yeah, no, it's all green screen.
Not the floor,
like,
not
yeah,
the arch
yeah.
behind them. No.
Yeah, well, the arch isn't, but like the from my understanding, all of the flooring in the wall has always been green screen. So the reason why the Andorian is got a green tint to it is because it was blue, and they're trying to compensate for, you know, screen replacement. So
Yeah.
that's why it's got like a green tint to it. But it also kind of looks like
Norman says different region on the planet, multi-race. That's a good guess. Too.
Well, we know the Anar are kind of greenish white as well. They're like a subspecies of the Andorians. So anyway,
Military Bird says crazy idea. She also could have left and come back when they were done.
Well, that too. But she wanted to be supportive.
She was asleep.
No, who doesn't like a little corner of the holodeck snooze mid-afternoon?
Exactly. Whatever time this is. Anyway, so but Troy says you would be the only Andorian on board the Enterprise if this was the selected choice. Then we see a human male. No problem with
Oh, but very handsome.
But this is the I believe this is the actor playing the mannequin version.
That makes sense. That's nice. Let him have his face shown. Very handsome.
Very handsome.
Very short.
Short though, you know, but that's goes. So
listen, you love a short king. It's cool.
Exactly. Then we see the option that will be selected as Lal, the human female, and then finally a Klingon male.
A friend for Worf.
Now, can we just wait here? I
Sure.
think there may be some validity to Worldmind's idea about the color correction on the Andorian, because look at what color her jumper is. It's purple. It's like a bluish purple in the later parts of the episode, and it's beige here.
True. Yeah, I'm not sure they made two outfits for her or not, but Anyway, so then we got her, and then we have finally the choice, the Klingon male, which I kind of personally wish had been selected, but a friend for Worf is the joke.
Friend for Worf.
A friend for Worf. I love it.
If Lal had just been, like, if that final scene's like Data talking to a Klingon male android, like that would have been a very different ending.
Or the Admiral trying to control him.
Or even like the Klingon male giving a big smooch on to Breaker, like all these things. Yeah, like there's all the hilarity that we could have had. But anyway, but they say, "What do you think, Lal? What's your favorite?" Yes, I have chosen my and we get our next time jump here, and down from the platform comes Lal in now a purplish version of that jumper. Congratulations, Data. It's a girl. So very spot on, Heather.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well done. So then Lal is taken home to Data's quarters, after and apparently Lal has just absorbed a whole bunch of new information. So he's like, look, this is a chair for sitting. Chair. This is a painting for paint. But Lal's kind of buzzing around the room. Asking all kinds of questions, like trying new things. Calls the flower a painting. He goes, no, that's a flower. And then she goes, smell. Yeah.
It's so cute. I love it. I also love, I'm sure I've mentioned this before on the pod, but I love that they find the most exotic flowers they can to play like alien flowers. That's always so fun to me.
Yeah.
This is a hydrangea, and I'm not sure what the pink thing is. Maybe some kind of lotus, but
I think it's a cactus.
Smell. Norman also pointing out here that why are there no Andorians currently serving on the Enterprise, and they're hardly seen on Starfleet? Can't answer that other than I don't think they wanted to do original series stuff as much. I don't know. So that would be my best guess. But they come back in a big way in Enterprise. As you know, Norman. Anyway, then we have Data teach. It's more of a montage here, I believe, right? Data teaching Lal how to drink, where she's able to take a drink, but then all the liquid falls out of her mouth, as children do. They're trying to teach Lal how to catch a ball, or like reflexes. she, the ball goes by and she lifts the hand many seconds later. Can relate to this too.
Yes.
Data.
I feel like a lot of Star Trek fans felt this in our souls when we watched.
Oh yeah. Being that person and also as a parent watching my child, we're so. Anyway, but also we're reminded the Lal's an android and can absorb all this new information and data and all the this kind of stuff right away. And is this where? Oh yeah, Data teaches her blinking.
Simulated human responses.
Get her to eat and drink without it coming out of her mouth. So progress is made very quickly in this little montage sequence. Even teaching her how to use a napkin and things like that. And I can't remember. What are Wesley and Data talking about in this scene? Like,
I think how fast she's absorbing things.
And then
Wesley asked if Data has considered sending her to school.
Right. This is like where, going to school. And just then, Wesley gets a call from his mother about getting a haircut. Which parents, haircuts, hygiene, grooming, all these things we nag them about. So Data's, I think this is where Data activates her and she's just absorbed all this new information. So she's like, why am I me and not somebody else? Why are things like all these philosophical kind of,
why is the sky black? Which I thought was very cute. Yeah.
And he was like, these questions indicate you have gone to the next level of attaining sentience and everything.
Why do we have 2 hands, not 3 hands or 4 hands?
Yeah, and like for an artificial life form, like this is probably a good question. Like maybe I want 4 hands. These 2 hands are very limited.
I can put my 4 hands back on, and you can't. So play safe.
Exactly. Exactly. But he's like these. But then he turns her off mid sentence. Which
also, I've never been a parent, but I'm pretty sure a lot of parents saw that and were like, "Oh man, I'd like an off switch on my kids sometimes."
And you want to send them to bed, and you can just hit a switch. Like this would be the best thing, right?
Good night.
But he says, "Good night. Tomorrow is your first day of
It's
school."
called Ether.
It's called Ether.
And that's why you're not a parent either.
Then we get a conversation here. We meet the Admiral for the first time. Admiral Haftel. And he was like, Picard trying to make his best case to the Admiral. Like, Data's doing a great job. And he's like, well, I think you should come here to Starbase, whatever, or wherever I work, and come over the research. And this is his child, you got to realize it. And the Admiral is not too sympathetic. He's pretty bureaucratic.
He also asked him, Picard asked him do you mean both of them or just, he goes, no.
Right.
No.
Well, yeah, he's like, they can both come out to you and you can work with them for a bit. And he's like, no, that would not be okay. We want no interference from from Data, which I always think is kind of strange that it's not really explained why they would have an issue with any of that.
Well, he said that it would be an impediment to her development.
But based on what? Like, he doesn't explain it. He doesn't rationalize it at all.
He's an admiral. He doesn't have to.
Yeah, I guess. So the Admiral, the Admiral already had his mind made up, and it's obvious once he's on the station. Yeah, like he has an agenda here, I think is the main thing, right? Like there's this incredible achievement in cybernetics, and he wants to put his mark on it in some way. Anyway, so the Admiral's like, we're going to talk about this, and Picard knows that this is potentially not going to go well. He's trying to navigate the politics and the whole chain of command, as it will. Then we have Data visiting the school teacher, who talks to Data about, well, first we put her with the older children because she had such high test marks, but then she had a hard time connecting with the older kids, so we put her with the younger kids. And he's like, well, that seems like a good idea, but that's not going so well. We see not all the younger kids don't want to have anything to do with Lal. They're afraid of her. And we see Lal's kind of on the other side of the room where all the kids are on the other side. I can relate to this as well. So it's kind of a sad moment here.
It's so sad. Yeah.
And then in the turbo lift, this kind of continues where, Lal asks Data, like, why do humans laugh? And well, he's like, well, if you say something humorous, and she's like, well, that understanding humor, I have somehow mastered it. But he goes, well, no, there's a difference between being laughed at and laughed with, and one's meant kindly, one's not. And she's like, well, why would they want to be unkind? And he goes, well, humans are often fearful of things they don't understand or new things, and a lot of them try to disguise that with humor. It's a really good line. It's a really well written scene here, but it's sad too, where Data has to kind of explain this to her. Anyway, and then Data goes to see Dr. Crusher. Dr. Crusher is really only seen in this whole episode, I believe. And he wants advice on parenting, and I just love how Dr. Crusher is so like flattered that someone's going to ask her about advice on parenting. She's like, well, I know some things. Maybe I can help you out here. I guess
she's also like humbled by his compliment too, I think.
Well, it's humbled, and there also all the other senior officers, none of them have children yet, at least. So she, like, this is the one thing that Dr. Crusher and Data can now have in common, sort of.
Well, he could never go to war anyway later on either. Like,
no, he wouldn't go to war for parenting advice.
Nobody would. Worf's as bad as Ed Baldwin.
Worf would more likely go to Data for advice, but Worf probably wouldn't ask for any in the first place. Anyway, and he says, well, what as a successful parent, and talks about everything that's happened with school, and what that was like, and how he can help Lal. And she's like, I thought this is interesting. She's like, she talked about Wesley's struggles when he was younger, being the prodigy, being like Mr. Intelligent, and being intimidating the other kids, according to her, and how she had to try to relate to Wesley and say, well, I wasn't always the most popular, and that helped Wesley feel better because he wasn't alone, and could have that connection there. So anyway, she's like, well, why don't you try just I even pulled the clip. I think it's a great line here between Crusher and Data.
You didn't have anyone with experience to help you through sentience. She at least has you. Just help her realize she's not alone. And be there to nurture her when she needs love and attention.
I can give her attention, Doctor, but I am incapable of giving her love.
Then he leaves.
Now, why do I find that so hard to believe?
Good line. Like that.
Why did I find that it was so whispery?
Yeah, it's kind of whispery. Anyway, but that's I really love that scene where reinforcing this. Data doesn't have emotions yet. Why do I find that hard to believe? Then here's a shot for you.
Hello, Captain.
This is a funny scene, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not disturbing you, am I?
No, of course.
Meanwhile, he's like full chest out, very obviously asleep. I'm not disturbing you, am I?
Yeah.
No, Captain Sizzle Chest, you're not.
Yeah, this is like Picard with his lying in bed with his robe draped open with his chest. This is Worf's only line in the whole episode. He's not seen on camera. He just has the Starfleet command is on the communique. Okay, and then Picard stumbles over to the monitor. I'm not disturbing you, am I? No, of course not. You're to stay where you are. I'm coming out to see you, and I'm going to evaluate this android myself. And he's like, okay. And just as he's about to go back to bed, he's like, and if I don't like what I see, Picard, I'm going to take that android back with me. Admiral out. Picard's just like these admirals, what am I doing here? This is the one admiral he's not friends with, clearly.
Yeah.
So he doesn't on a first.
But also, the starship time and wherever the admirals are. All this must be very messed up. So they can get calls, I guess, any time of day. And
True.
I guess Picard's so confident in his chest he doesn't need a robe.
He's like, look at it. So,
you're not bugging me.
You're not bugging me. Is it bugging you? Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
So then got Picard. No, Data and Lal. What's happening in this scene? Is this where? Yeah, Data takes Lal to 10 Forward to meet Guinan. And Guinan, he wants Guinan to teach her the ways of humanity by working here in 10 Forward, the social hub of the thing. So Guinan's very good in this episode. Whoopi Goldberg very good in this episode. She's not in it a lot, but she's a lot of fun. And the whole thing, my father says I can learn from you, from someone who's so old, which is thanks, Data, thanks for putting it that way. And then it's in this conversation that Lal uses the contraction, right? She says, I've been doing this, or I'm doing well. And how could you do this? You can't use a contraction. The Data's program's never been able to do that. So it's an incredible achievement, but Data doesn't know what it means. And but then Data gets called away to go see Picard. And Guinan's like, shoo, Data, I got this. I can figure this out. I'll take care of her. And this is Picard saying, okay, the Admiral's coming. And he's not necessarily, he wants to take your daughter to this research outpost, and he's like, so he wants to relocate us. And Picard's like, no, he doesn't want to relocate both of you, just her. So
I would not be in favor of that.
I'm not in favor. Well, it's not going to come here. And by the end of this conversation, Data's like, does the Admiral have kids? He's like, yeah, I think he does. Well, I wonder if anyone asked him if he was suitable when he had kids before he had them and everything else. So Picard's just like, well, I don't know. I don't think any of us are really thinking like that, or at least the Admiral's not. So anyway, Picard, I think he's coming to his own realizations as this time goes on here. Even though he was a little bit closer to the Admiral's position initially, he's definitely shifted there. And then, okay, this scene in 10 Forward where Guinan is teaching Lal about love, and I know that there's this part here in the background with the woman and the man, and they're holding hands, and then they're kissing, and then they're going to leave together here. That's all fine. But there's also something going on here too, with these three guys and this woman here, and like I don't know if they're all trying to get with her. There's more going on here, but sometimes it was probably the assistant director had to come up with all this stuff, or the extras that we're going to be doing. And I think that this comes back later on. Anyway, so why Guinan teaches Lal about holding hands and everything else. There's the one part where they start kissing, and she's like, he is biting that female. Please, stop it. No, it's kissing. It's okay. It's all right. And then they start to leave together, and she goes, where are they going? And Guinan says, there's something your father will just have to teach you about later on. And then we get the whole gag here with Riker. Riker comes back. It was also set up in the previous scene that Picard's like, okay, tell Riker I'll meet with him in an hour. So Riker doesn't know what the hell's going on here at all. He has not been briefed about any of this. And he goes, hello, beautiful. You're new here. I don't think he says beautiful, but he says, you're new around here. She goes, yes. And then she just grabs him by the shirt and with android strength and lays it on him there. Just for Data to walk in at that moment. Put him down, Guinan says. And what are your intentions towards my daughter, Commander Riker? Your daughter? The hell's going on? I love
that it's clear that she's lifted him off his feet to kiss him. Put him down.
Well, even here where she has him like lifted up. Yeah, it's great.
Stargazer says, I ponder if Riker would attempt to flirt with Lal at 10 forward. You 100%. Bet your space ass he would.
He was already on her. He was
already getting started, and then he was fine.
That's right.
So he's like, okay, I gotta go be with the captain. This was a bad I thought I could get a drink here. Funny moment here. Riker's got it, even with the android. That's right, Norman. Even this look that Guinan gives to Data after the whole incident, she's like, what do you want? Like, I'm trying to teach her stuff, it's gonna be a little messy. Anyway, and then maybe my favorite scene in the whole episode is where we got Data and Lal, and she's mostly saying like we're not like the humans. We pretend to be like them. We don't have their emotions, all these things. Like, why do you try to be like them? I pulled the whole scene here. Like, let's have a listen because it's so good.
Then why do you still try to emulate humans? What purpose does it serve except to remind you that you are incomplete?
I have asked myself that many times as I have struggled to be more human, until I realized it is the struggle itself that is most important. We must strive to be more than we are, Lal. It does not matter that we will never reach our ultimate goal. The effort yields its own rewards.
You are wise, Father.
Yes. It's just this idea of like trying to be better than you are, shooting for the moon, all these like really, really, really well written here, really well done. In this scene here, and then they hold hands. Like, I learned that holding hands is a way to express affection, and then they hold. It's really sweet. What can you say? So, but don't get too sweet. The Admiral's here, and he's arrived on this Excelsior class ship. Every time an Admiral will show up in every other episode after this, it will be on an Excelsior class ship, much like this one, so they won't have to shoot new stuff. Anyway, so the Admiral's here. They're having a cup of tea, but this conversation doesn't go so well where the Admiral's very skeptical. He's already made up his mind, but even Picard points out, he's like, I thought you were here to form an opinion, not like justify one, not show up here and like make your case for one. And he's just like, aren't we getting the Admiral's saying like, we're saying like he's the dad and she's the mom, we're breaking up a family here, but isn't that a little bit like pedantic about androids? And I thought that Picard has a great moment here too, where he's like, what is it?
They're living, sentient beings. Their rights and privileges in our society have been defined. I helped define them.
And you know what else? The way he approaches this, he steps forward right into the Admiral's face, essentially.
Yeah. A superior officer, right?
Yeah. He is not backing down at all.
Well,
and
he's right.
he's right. But Picard normally a little bit like we don't see him interacting with admirals every day, but like, you know, he's usually very cordial with them. And but here he's being a little bit more forceful than we would maybe expect from him. And
now, unrelated to plot, what do we think of the admiral's uniform with the glitter trim?
Can't
Love
stand
it.
yeah, well, this will pretty much become the this is like the standard admiral uniform we pretty much get almost universally beyond this episode, specifically Next Generation. I like this version. I think it looks close enough to like the main duty uniform. It's got enough of that admiral flair, but it's not as like grand and crazy as we saw in some of those other versions we saw in season 1 and 2. So anyway, it's good. I like it.
I think they missed the mark on admirals uniforms all the way through.
What would the mark have been?
I don't like the glitter. I mean, I appreciate that they need to step up the gold or the maybe some more ribbons or badges or something that showed the.
You want more epaulets. You want more flair.
Yeah, but not the piping.
What's wrong with the piping?
It's glittery. Is that what you don't like? You
I
don't
hate
think
glitter.
an admiral should glitter?
No, admirals are not glitter.
They can sparkle.
He's earned the rank of glitter. Okay,
Yes.
let him enjoy himself. They won't
I
even
would
let
like
him
to
have
know that he's, was in a battle or something. Show me that he did something. Maybe.
I don't even know if he was. He's like a research admiral. Like as far as
Yes.
he might not even have ever.
Maybe
really
that's what
been.
research. I mean, they all get this stupid glitter, but whatever.
Yeah, they all get the glitter. So
Listen, for those of you who don't know gay shit, Fran Drescher agrees with me that this is a very hot glitter uniform. Nailed it.
yeah, well done.
It's very heated rivalry.
Anyway, where's the android now is where the conversation ends, and then we go to Data's lab here, where he's explaining how he did all the pathways and everything else. Replicating here. This is the first conversation between the admiral and Data, where and the admiral's trying to say, like, we have so many great facilities at Starfleet Research. Let me take Lal there, but she wants to see the android, to see Lal, and they go to 10 forward. Where is she? She's a cocktail waitress. The depravity, the injustice here, as far as the admiral's concerned. He's like so angry from the minute he walks in here and sees what she's doing.
Can
She's
calculate
underaged in a
80,000
bar.
Yeah. Now, remember how I talked about those 3 guys trying to get with that woman before? Now I think this is the guy who got with her later on here, and they are a few drinks in. I'm going with that.
Yeah, it's only synthahol. They're fine.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so she's bringing, but she can do 60 trillion calculations a second, and you got her serving drinks. And Picard's like, don't worry, she's under the tutelage of Guinan. This is completely great. And then Guinan shows up to confront the admiral. Oh, I bet you've been at a few seedier establishments than this in your day, Admiral. But he doesn't laugh. He doesn't think it's too funny.
He just looks at her, glares.
Yeah,
at
he
her.
just leers at her. Yeah, he doesn't. He's like, I want her out of here now. She is not to be serving it. I bring her to meet me for an interview right away. So this doesn't go so well for the cause of letting Lal stay on the Enterprise. That look here.
Admiral's definitely been at a Ferengi strip club or two.
Uh-huh.
Oh, for sure.
He visits the Hollow Suites regularly.
So then the interview here with Lal and the Admiral.
Can you go back one?
Yeah.
Do we ever see a top-down shot?
Very rarely.
Conference room like this? I don't
rare,
think
yeah.
so. Freaks again. Nailed it.
He's like, I want a
ladder. Get me a
ladder. I'll shoot it with myself. Anyway.
I'm not tall enough.
Anyway, so like Picard, like the Admiral's questions are more direct. The Captain Picard trying to like soften like this and kind of make this a little bit easier on Lal through the conversation. But and then the Admiral's like, well, you should come with us, and we have all the respect for your father, but she's like, you don't really speak of my father respectfully. And
well, he's
also,
using the pad as well at this time, like not here, but
yeah, he's like he's not even looking at her. He's like doing his business. Norman saying, I bet the Admiral has used the Vulcan love slave holiday suite program.
100p, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the Admiral, I don't know. He's just he doesn't do much to convince her whatsoever. And then she's like, well, I don't want to. And then Picard's like, well, like, shouldn't we haven't talked about like her will, what she wants, her decisions. Shouldn't that play a factor in here? But that's not so much what the Admiral's coming up is interested in. Although, with children, we don't necessarily always take their will into account. Parents can overrule certain aspects of that. But anyway, so she leaves this conversation feeling like she's going to be taken away, like by the Admiral.
Well, Picard asks her what her wishes are, and she's like, I wish to stay here. I don't want to go anywhere.
I don't want to go anywhere. But she's immediately like, something's wrong with Lal. We can see as soon as she leaves the meeting, she goes down to see Troy, and she's like, I'm feeling like the Admiral's coming here to take me away and everything else. And Troy is like, you're feeling emotions. I can sense them. I can feel them from you. How that works, never clear to me how Troy can read androids, but she can sometimes. And she's like, this is what it's like to feel fear. It's, she keeps pointing at her stomach here, or poking it.
I like how she did this little like jab to the stomach bit.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of autism coding in this episode,
right?
And she does it well.
She does. Then we see her leave Troy's quarters. We'll find out that's because she's malfunctioning. She's supposed to go back to the lab. And so then we have the conversation here with the Admiral and Data, where the Admiral wants to convince Data to let him take Lal, right? He's like, I think we can all agree that there are limitations on the starship. Are there not? Maybe that was part of what he said to Lal, but the big thing that the Admiral keeps saying here is that, well, what happens if this Enterprise got destroyed by the Romulans, and then we would lose both androids? I suppose.
I think he was also saying, like, she can only really be studied in solitude. Basically, it's like we need to lock her away and research the shit out of her because they're the Federation and they want to figure out a way to
make more androids. Basically,
yeah,
I guess.
But he's pulling a Bruce Maddox, like 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this should be like against the rules, but anyway, but see, he tried. So then he orders Data, like, Data, whether you like this or not, I want you to bring the Lal to my ship, basically. And then this is where Picard stands up and says, "Belay that, Commander." And the Admiral's like, "You wouldn't dare oppose me. I'm an Admiral." And he's like, "Oh, well, there are times when men of good conscience have to not obey orders." I love this whole bit here with Picard. He was like, force a man to hand his child over to the state. Not while I'm his captain. I'll take this to Starfleet Command, to the Federation Council itself, Whether Picard would have won there, I would have liked to have seen that, or, really like how that would have been perceived. But just then there's the call from Troy. Oh, there's something wrong with Lal. Please come down to the lab right away.
Well, doesn't he respond here by saying, I am Starfleet?
Yeah, he goes, I'll take this right to Starfleet. And he goes, I am Starfleet, Captain.
You are not, sir.
No, I don't think any one Admiral is Starfleet.
Well, if you think you are, you got a problem.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, so we then go to the lab, and Lal is having a cascade breakdown. Failure. She's dying basically, and they don't know what to do, and they're gonna have to. It might be like the emotions are kind of a symptom of a greater problem, basically. And it's going to take a lot of work here. And so Data's like, I'll have to try to work on that. And the Admiral like steps up here. He's like, I'll help you. I'll help you try to save her. Right. And very earnest in the whole thing. It's real like turnaround here where he goes from villain to kind of, hero.
But it also explains a little bit about his personality, because if he is indeed a scientist, clearly, that he can assist with this repair or try to, attempted repair. It kind of explains, because that personality type is not typically that compassionate,
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. And it's interesting too that he's even more qualified to help Data than Geordi is on this situation. So Geordi gets to wait in the waiting room. So they're like, get out of here, we got a lot of work to do. And Picard and Troy then leave.
Here's what I find funny about this scenario is that La'al basically got a taste of fear and feelings and was like, I can't handle this, I'm gonna speedrun life, and then starts to just like progressively shut down all of her internal systems because she can't handle it anymore.
Yeah, well, we're told that like the getting a stable positronic brain is a very difficult feat, in this universe, and the fact that Data has a stable positronic brain is kind of a miracle, and that La'al is breaking down here, I guess, is not that unexpected from that standpoint, although Data thought it would be possible if he just replicated his neural pathways identically, it should theoretically work, right?
Right, but La'al was like, I don't like fear. I don't like existing. Existing's gonna hurt and suck. I don't want to deal with any of this. I'm just gonna shut it all down. And
she didn't like that kiss from Riker.
Melting. Yeah.
Anyway, they open up her head.
Riker would short circuit anyone, let alone a 2-week-old robot child.
Oh yeah, smoke would come out your ears for sure. Anyway, they open up her head here and they start working away. We don't see that, but there's a time jump here. The music goes pretty sad. And we see it's like, Geordi, Deanna, and Wesley waiting out. I guess Picard.
No chairs again.
No chairs. No Picard. He's not here either. Or Crusher. Anyway, then the Admiral comes out. I know, like, he's rubbing his hands, kind of like a doctor would coming out of a surgery almost, And he was just like, we tried everything we can, but we lost her. Like her thing's got to break down. He gives like this he talks about Data's hands moving so fast. I'll play the clip.
She won't survive much longer. There was nothing anyone could have done. Repolarize one pathway and another would collapse. And then another. His hands were moving faster than I could see, trying to stay ahead of each breakdown. He refused to give up. It was remarkable.
This is the part that I always cry on, like when he's describing all that, and like
me too.
A father doing everything they can for their kid, but being unable to do it, and how the Admiral kind of like how his respect for Data, how he sees Data, and La'al, I think, by the end of this is great. And this is the Admiral's exit from the episode, but it's an interesting dynamic for him as he goes then, but there's nothing that can be done. Yeah, that's where he's talking about the hands going so fast. Anyway, and they're all sad, and then the final goodbye scene here between La'al and Data. He's like, I couldn't save you, I'm sorry. She says, thank you for my life. That was a really,
that always gets me, like I'm choked up now.
Yeah, pretty sad. And then she starts saying like flirting and ice cream and everything she's like learned about in like this short time.
No, but before that she says, I love you, Father. And he says, I wish I could feel it with you. And she says, I will feel it for both of us.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Good point. Yeah.
Friend Drescher says, damn, I've never seen the show and I'm choked up.
Yeah. I know. It's a sad one, Then Data comes to the bridge and everyone's like, oh, Worf's here. Worf finally appears on screen. And they're like, we're all really sad, Commander Data. Breakers here, Crusher here. The whole ship saddened for your loss. And he's like, don't worry, I downloaded her to my mind. And I don't know, like he's like, I couldn't allow her to kind of go into the void, into oblivion. But the ending, like it's nice, but I think it was always meant to be a bit of like this. Well, she's not really dead. She lives on in me sort of idea, but she's not like inside of him, like in that sense, like her consciousness, But,
no, I didn't read it as that either. But something I did consider when I was watching it this time is, does integrating Lal's positronic brain into his own. Does that allow, we know he doesn't have the emotion chip yet, but does that allow Data maybe to feel?
In the sense that he has the memories of how she felt.
Of how she felt, right.
Yeah.
But not to feel his own feelings yet. But he has the
Right.
memory of what it felt like for her to love him.
So he's
And
got
for
the
her
memory
to,
of what it
and
felt
the
like
fear
to
she
kiss
felt
Riker.
too. And what it's like to kiss. She's like, I know what those lips feel like, Riker. And, watch out. Anyway, so Data, then he takes his post here and he just kind of like stares off, and we're meant to like this android that has no emotions, that has no feelings, although you might be hard to believe that, you know, and him just kind of processing that whole experience, you know, here as he kind of continues on doing what he normally does, which is sit here on the bridge of the Enterprise and tap panels, you know. So that is the end of the episode. It's good ending, strong ending, great episode. I would like to know more trivia about it if possible. And
fun facts, sad fun facts with Adam.
These are not sexy fun facts today.
They are not sexy fun facts.
Sad fun facts.
Okay, so this was indeed the first episode directed by an actor. I saw one of the comments in the chat there from one of the actors on the show. It was Sam, actually, who said that. So Jonathan Frakes was the first of these, of basically the original series and Next Generation to direct an episode. Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner had directed a movie.
Movies at this point, yeah.
He only appears in one short scene, so he could be behind the camera. You know, I guess they were. Let's get him behind the camera. They did distribute some roles and lines that he had with other cast members.
So like they had to rewrite the script a bit, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
The lift in the science laboratory was reused in the chamber of the Board Queen in Dark Frontier.
I was wondering if that was also used when they get Picard back in Best of Both Worlds Part 2, and he's in like the frame thing and he's telling them sleep.
It looks like it.
It looks like the same one, eh?
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out when we get to Best of Both Worlds Part 2.
Yep. This was the first of 2 episodes in the Next Generation series that had an Endor in, though it's only a hologram, and the potential skin template is wrong. Whether it's green screen or not, it's still wrong. They were only in 2 episodes of Next Gen. I don't know where the other episode was. But Dave, you're right. In Enterprise, they came roaring back.
Yeah, like, and it's it was interesting. We never saw one on Deep Space Nine, because you think on a space station they would at least do it.
It must have been a difficult, alien to recreate. I guess I don't know.
I think the antennas are what make it difficult. You know, like it's not the blue paint,
and also the blue paint. That's such a. I guess they do a lot more elaborate makeup than that, but the hair and the antenna.
The antennas, I think, and then like probably not wanting to do like when I think they brought the Andorians back when they did, because they knew they could do the CGI and antennas.
Oh yeah, because their antennas are like prehensile, right? They move.
Right. Like in Enterprise, they do at least, yeah. So they was kind of retconned in, but so.
The name Lal is explained by Picard in a supplemental log as coming from the Hindi for beloved. While it is a term of endearment, it is more appropriately translated. This is from IMDb, guys. I'm just going to say this, but it's more appropriately translated as dear or darling, and used when addressing males, and specifically children.
Well, then it's not quite like my name means beloved, but Lal doesn't really mean beloved. Just so we establish.
Whoopi Goldberg successfully fought. You're going to like this, Heather. Successfully fought to change the line of her dialogue in the scene where Guinan was teaching Lal about the facts of life. The line was actually originally when a man loves a woman, and she changed it to when 2 people are in love.
Good job, Whoopi. Thank you for that. And you know what? Star Trek said trans rights too, and like by allowing Data to start Lal as neuter and choose their own sex, and that they specifically said sex first and then gender. That was groundbreaking for the time. So that was a fun fact I didn't know, that Whoopi had that change to when two people love each other. Well done.
So therefore, reinforcing the belief of the 24th century a person's sexual orientation is unimportant. This is the episode of the origin of the two-handed face palm.
Yes.
Which I seem to use at work more and more frequently.
Me too.
Picard meme, a meme used to express a higher level of frustration or disbelief in the Star Trek world. The painting that Data shows in his quarters is called Tableau by Piet Mondrian. It can only be seen at an easel in his quarters in A Matter of Time, Hero Worship, and Silicone Avatar. Yep. In addition to being the name of Data's daughter in this episode, Lal was a character in Star Trek, the original series episode, The Empath.
I don't remember that. Do you?
No.
No.
The large pink flower, another one for Heather, scene where Data and Lal talk after he chooses her appearance, or she chooses her appearance, is called a protea.
Protea. Yes.
This flower belongs to a group of plants called Finbos, which are endemic to South Africa's western province.
See, that's it. So it's not like a flower or a cut flower you would usually see in North America. And I find they really try to do that when they have flowers on Star Trek. They try to pick really alien looking ones. Like this might have come from a different planet. I always note that.
Yeah. Picard said Data's name an astounding 23 times in this episode, while he didn't even say Worf's name once, despite having two chances to do so.
Well,
Captain Picard never said Worf's time 20 times in an episode, but he has said Data's name in a single episode at least 3 different times.
British people don't like saying R's. I've learned, like they're they always mute the R's, so it'd be like wolf, right? Like instead of Worf,
right.
So maybe that's why.
Little known facts about this episode, just maybe other things. We talked about that one. Give me a second. There was a planned follow-up episode where Lore would have stolen Lal's body in the season 5 sequel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then he would try to reanimate her with the emotion chip. The idea was abandoned, but it would have really dramatically changed Laura's arc, apparently.
Yeah, that would have been a little...
It ultimately resurfaced in Picard season 1.
If you really want to make Laura even more villainous, that would be a good way to go. But
in the early script draft, explained that Starfleet wanted Lal because of the M5 computer disaster from the original series, The Ultimate Computer.
That's why the Admiral wanted.
Yeah,
her?
The idea was that Starfleet feared another Daystrom style catastrophe and wanted the control over Android research.
Okay.
Well, they didn't do it.
They didn't do it. Like I think like some rationale from Starfleet's standpoint would have helped it maybe a bit, because it just seems like they're a bunch of dicks, and like that's their only true motivation.
Yeah. Producers intentionally wrote this as a low-cost, no new sets episode to give Frakes an easier directing debut. So it really became a bottle show.
I think bottle shows are some of the best episodes, honestly. I don't even need these. Why do I have to wait 2 years for a special effects to be put onto an episode when I can just get an episode of talking? It's just, come on.
And guess what? We got 26 episodes a season back then.
I know.
Yes.
But not now. It's anyway.
So Jonathan Frakes called this the best science fiction episode ever written. Michael Dorn listed it amongst his 2 favorite Next Generation episodes. That's pretty interesting considering he's barely in it.
Yeah.
What's his other one? Does it say?
No, it doesn't say, sorry. And Michael Piller ranked it with The Inner Light and Measure of a Man for the emotional impact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this must have been like Rene Echeverria went on to be like a big part of like the Deep Space Nine writing staff in particular.
Mhm.
So I think that this was probably got him in there.
Yeah,
Good.
he called this his first baby.
Yeah, good one.
Oh, it's Data's first baby too.
Well, you think about like when we did the Defector like 6 episodes ago, and that was like Ronald D. Moore's first episode, right? Like like a lot of these young writers who went on to become legends in their own right, really got established this season.
Lal was originally written as a male, so early drafts again of the script had him as a male form, not female. But after discussions, they felt that a daughter would be more emotionally resonant and dynamic.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that they did that. That was the right call.
There was a longer schoolroom sequence that was cut, which had where she had more interaction with the children, and it was struggle. So I think instead of the teacher telling everything that was happened, they probably would have observed.
We would have seen it, but
yeah,
if you got to cut that for time, I get it.
The backstory was removed to avoid, basically to give more time with Picard and Haftel.
Yeah, like I wouldn't change. Like I think that they like the only thing I wish I had was a bit more of like that explanation from Starfleet that they don't want like this artificial intelligence to like take over or to like that would have been just a little bit.
So we've already seen the measure of a man, right? Like we have.
Yeah, that was last season.
Yeah, so this is where I'm confused because again, that was already ruled. Like we've already been through this. I'm not sure how this happened.
Well, they ruled that Data wasn't property, but they didn't really necessarily establish that he was a person. Did they in that measure of man? Like by the end of it, like,
but then isn't she not property just by
right? And they order him, and he could have resigned from Starfleet, kind of thing. Like if because the admiral orders him to transfer Lal to his ship, but he could also.
No, I think if she hadn't suffered cascade failure and they were adamant about taking her, he absolutely would have resigned from Starfleet and taken Lal and got out of there.
Yeah.
Right.
But
and then finally tonight, the earliest version of the script also described Lal's neural collapse in much more technical and visually intense detail. So we would have been in the room when she was starting to fail. So that would be interesting as well. I would have liked to see that, but they had a difficult time with the effects, I think, to do that properly.
Yeah, and I don't even know if the story needs it because, like, I guess it would give it a more science fiction angle for sure, but it would.
Yeah, but the way that Haftel portrayed it, like, I think he did an amazing job.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't need to see it. Sometimes you can just describe it to me, and
again, the right person, the right actor, and he did it. He did a very good job with that. Like every one of you, I don't know, I couldn't see Chris, but had tears in your eyes. So, and even who is it, Friend Resher, she had tears in her eyes. So
Chris, are you capable of crying?
He is. Yes, he
okay,
is. We've seen it.
All right,
we've seen him upset.
I'm in jest, but he's got the android emotions. All right, is that your final fun fact?
Yeah, that's it for tonight.
All right, well, thank you. That was very fun and factual and sexy and sad and all those things. So, all right, well, let's put our scores down for the episode and rate this one. This is The Offspring. All right. Go a little closer. You can see it there. Okay, I'll go first. Is this this is a pretty perfect episode. Like 9.8. It's like, it's almost perfect.
Why did you deduct points?
Like I said, like I think they could have had a little bit more. I think that the admiral's motivations could have been a little bit more clear, but that's it. Otherwise, it's pretty perfect. So, Adam, your score, please.
Yeah, if they had given Deanna a chair,
get Deanna a chair and a neck pillow.
You deducted points for the lack of chair.
I think there was that missing part is like exactly why the motivation to take her, but I'm gonna go 9.8 as well, just because of that.
9.8. All right, Worldmind.
I'm giving it an 8.
An 8.
Right to my face. You're giving me cascade failure, Worldmind.
Yeah, he has given out high marks, right? No, he's never gone above 8 yet in this entire series. So
Oh,
far.
well, in that case, I accept the 8.
That's high praise for him.
Yes.
All right. And Heather, please.
I see that I gave yesterday's Enterprise an 11.
Mm-hmm.
So this is also an 11 then.
All right. This is just as good.
Like, we are in a string of great episodes. Like, if you look
Yes.
at what's coming, and man, like, we've got some.
Like, look at all the scores here. The lowest this season has been a 6.8. And that was
that's not a good episode.
No, it wasn't that good, but it was fine. It was like whatever.
What was the 4.4?
The 12, the what?
4.4.
Oh, the 4.4, the price.
We all hated that one.
Not me. I liked it.
Yeah,
but, but anyway, I got to vote it on that one. That's the one with Devanani Ral and
oh God, yes, the guy Matt McCoy.
Matt McCoy, yes. All right, well, we're averaging a 9.7 tonight for The Offspring. This is 8.5 on IMDb, so it's rated lower than yesterday's Enterprise, but about the same as Deja Q. And
yesterday's Enterprise is like the perfect episode. It just had everything. It was new. There was something new in that episode. It was great.
It's a very good episode. I agree. Do we have any ratings? Oh, Norman saying this is a 10. Easy, guys. Okay, so just think of that.
That's right, Norman.
Norman, what would you have given yesterday's Enterprise?
Yeah, what would you give yesterday's? Is it a 10 or 11? All right. Well, that's that. Well, we can take this down for now. And talk about our next episode, which we're probably not going to do next week because there's too much going on next week. So probably in 2 weeks we're going to do this. We're probably moving to Mondays, by the way. That's the other thing. But the one we're doing next is called. Oh, he gave an 11 last week. Well, thank you.
I don't believe in 11s. This one
he doesn't believe in 11s. He has all these beliefs. Anyway. So our next episode is Sins of the Father. Tony Todd comes as
Tony.
Yes.
Kern.
Oh, 10.
Now we're talking this. I love this episode.
Me too.
As well. So I can't imagine I'm going any lower than I did tonight. So it's maybe even higher. Great season, great episode. Thank you.
Thank you, Stargazer. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it. I always enjoy reviewing an episode of Next Generation. Other shows, it's up and down. We're almost done for All Mankind, at least up till the point that's been released so far. Season 4 is almost done. We're going to be on next.
Painful.
It's not. It's okay. We'll be on next Tuesday, actually. Tuesday night, Perestroika is the finale of season 4. We'll be talking about that, and then that's going to free us up because the timing's good because Starfleet Academy is starting next week as well. Next Thursday, January 15th.
I hope, Steve.
Yes. No one's more excited for it than Chris Murphy, I think. So are you?
Well, but he likes the other poster much better.
No, he likes this one.
Yeah, that's the one.
What? Where did this accusation come from?
That is the worst Star Trek poster ever. Like ever.
It is arguably the worst Star Trek poster.
If
but
you like 90210.
Here's the thing.
Here's
the thing about that poster. Okay, it shows everyone all happy-go-lucky, young, and full of joy. I bet you dollars of donuts when this show goes to season 3, and it will get a season 3. It's already got season.
You've heard it here. He said it.
It will get a season 3. When they go season 3, it's gonna get dark, and you're gonna get like moody, monstrous posters of all these characters because they're gonna go through so much trauma in the first 2 seasons.
Well,
Emo
the
Academy.
funniest part of that, is the Klingon guy on the ground there because he just doesn't.
Yeah, that's weird.
Holding hands and smiling.
He's a disappointment to the Empire.
He's a scientist.
He's a medical officer, I think. But anyway, I don't know. I'm here for it. I'm gonna, I'm trying to not be too excited.
I'm very positive about this too. I am excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see a 3,000-year-old doctor. That's what I want. I want to see.
He'll only be like 1,000 years old by that point.
Yeah.
But
either way, our doctor.
But Paul Giamatti, accomplished actor, like I love him in most things, and I'm excited to see him again. So
Holly Hunter.
Yep.
Holly Hunter on the bridge doing her weird voice thing.
Yeah, I got a mouthful of marbles, sir.
Chicken. It's all about the origami chicken.
Exactly. So check out that. Also, we recently did a Star Trek radio theater. It was Galaxy Quest. You can go back and listen to all that. That was a ton of fun. And I did an interview with Rick from the YouTube channel Certifiably In Game not too long ago on the Captain's Yacht. You can go and check that out as well. And all the great stuff here on the United Federation of Podcasts. It's very soon I'm going to be on Hold Up, or Hey, Did You See This One? Sorry, not Hold Up. Hey, Did You See This One? Talking Face Off. So.
And the end of this month, we're
Like
going to talk about Babylon 5
the
on Trivia
Cage
Debates.
Travolta face off.
Yes.
Okay, I can't wait to tune into that because I watched that a few months ago and I was cooking and smoking dope and I wrote down my impressions of it. And let me tell you, this movie is wild. I can't even believe this shit got made. It's too
so
much.
good. It's so good.
There's, like, there's a behind the
Did you
scenes.
see that one?
Me?
No, when is this episode of Hey Did You See?
It's like, you know how I said I needed a guest host in like 2 weeks or something for the Academy show? I think it's on the 29th. I'm doing it.
I can
that's-
host it.
Yeah, I would figured you'd be probably the best option, Chris. So yes, you can step in that week for me. That'll be awesome. Anyway, that's all the stuff here we have on Live Long and Podcast going on. It's a whole new year. It's a whole new thing. And what's Jody saying?
Jody rates it a 6. He says it backtracked Data's story from Measure of a Man.
It backtracked
Well,
it.
I don't agree with Jody. What a surprise. Put a 10 in his column. Hey.
All right. Thank you,
The real Jody.
A great note to go out on here. Well, with that, we'll leave you with an audio clip, and we'll sign off for tonight. And we'll see you next time here on Live Long and Podcast. Have a great one, everyone.
Belay that order, Mr. Data.
I beg your pardon.
I will take this to Starfleet myself.
I am Starfleet Captain.
There are times, sir, when men of good conscience cannot blindly follow orders. You acknowledge their sentience, but you ignore their personal liberties and freedom. Order a man to hand his child over to the state. Not while I'm his captain.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, Did You See This One? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mato Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.